Top 10 support questions answered. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me here today. My name is Bruno, and if we haven't chatted on the phone before, I am a part of the customer support team here at 2020. I've been with 2020 for 6 years, and today I'm excited to jump into 2020 Design Live and walk through some of the most frequently asked questions that we receive here in support. Let's jump in. Number 10, what can the 2020 Knowledge Center do for me? So we're going to start with number 10 and make our way down the list. Everything we will cover here today is offered in video and article format over on our Knowledge Center. All we have to do is head over to the Knowledge Center, type in what it is we would like to know more about, and then the Knowledge Center will provide us with those answers. So how do we access the Knowledge Center? Well, the very first way that we can access the Knowledge Center is actually from the 2020 Spaces website. I'll hover over Support and Training, and if we head over to the middle portion here, we can click on the 2020 Knowledge Center. Here, all we need to do is click on our product, and you can see it takes us directly to the Knowledge Center. Now, the second way that we can access the Knowledge Center is through the 2020 Design Live program. We can head up to the Help tab, and just below the Help tab, we can click on the Knowledge Center. Perfect. Now, let's use it. How to place a fireplace in a wall. Perfect. So the very first article is exactly what we're looking for. And you can see the very first thing we see is a video that will explain exactly how you can do this, or you can follow the step-by-step article that explains every step of the way. Number 9, how can the 2020 account help me? Well, you can find many resources here, including program and catalog downloads for 2020 Design Live. Not to mention, you also have the ability to manage your sessions. Now, how do we access the account? Well, there are two main ways that you can access your account. The first way would be through the 2020 Design Live program. You can click on the Help tab at the top, and then click on 2020 My Account. Now, if you're not in the program, you can open up your preferred internet browser and head over to myaccount.2020spaces.com. Either way, it will take you to a page that looks exactly like this. All you need to do is sign in using the credentials you use to sign into the program. That will then allow you entry into your account. When you're in your account, you can click on Downloads and Catalogs on the left, and that will take you to your download page. The top portion of the page is reserved for program downloads. Normally, it's our newest versions offered in a variety of languages. And at the bottom, you'll find catalog download content. If you click on the 2020 catalog updates, that will show you our newest versions of manufacturer catalogs that we have to offer to our clients. Now, let's say you're trying to sign in at your current location, and it's telling you that you're currently signed in elsewhere. Well, you now have the ability to manage your session. You can click on the Manage Sessions tab, and you'll then see an icon under Release Session that you can click, and that will allow you to sign out from your location that you're currently logged in on. And that will then allow you to be able to sign in at the current location. Number 8, how do I contact support? Using the 2020 Spaces website, you can get in contact with us through live chat. You can create an online case with us, you can send us an email, or you can call the toll-free support line to speak with someone just like me. I'll show you exactly how you can get there. So we'll head over to 2020 Spaces. At the top, you can hover over Support and Training. We'll head over to the middle again, and the last button is Contact Support. Now we're going to select our product, so 2020 Design Live, and then pick your region. So I'll click on USA. And here you could see this is everything you need to get in contact with support. Number 7, how do I modify my program interface? So this feature was added in version 12, but I still get asked about it almost daily, so I thought I would include it in my presentation. Let's say you're missing boxes or they have undocked from your program. Well, you no longer need to worry about placing those things manually anymore. You can click on the View tab and then click on Screen Preset. If you're a longtime 2020 user, then you can click on Classic, and that will take you back to your happy place. Number 6, how do I get the lighting perfect with Easy Render? Okay, so there are two main forms of lighting that you need to worry about when it comes to the Easy Render. You have natural light and you have artificial light. Then you can also use the sun for an artistic, creative look. So let's go into the program and see what that looks like. I'll open up a perspective. All right, so if I can direct your attention to the bottom here, we can click on the light bulb in the floating toolbar. I'll ignore sun for now and I'll go to scene. And here you could see artificial and natural. Artificial will control the amount of light that is produced within your room. Natural is the amount of light that gets produced from outside sources. So if you have a window or an opening in the wall, then natural will be the amount of light that comes into your design from that opening. Now, if I wanted to create, let's say, a Sunday morning, lazy Sunday morning with no lights on inside, well, I can open up the natural light and I'll close down the artificial light. Now we can see we have a design that is lit solely from the window. Now, if I wanted to take that design step a little further, I can go to sun, and I'll bring up the sun about halfway. And here we could see that the sun is active, but it doesn't look like it's making any changes to our actual design. The reason for that is because the sun is placed just above our design, and the program knows that there's a ceiling above us. So the best way that we can use it is by moving the sun outside your design, and you can see now that the sunlight is actually being pushed into the room. So if I do something like that, you'll see now we have sun coming through your window. Amazing. How do I use the 2020 Cloud browser? All right, so we'll head back into the program. Now, the way that you use the Cloud browser is in the very first drop-down you see here, you'll see a list of catalogs. Now, all the catalogs that have a check mark next to them, you'll see items from those catalogs in this general area here. So you can imagine if every catalog is checked off, it'll become very difficult for you to find what you're looking for. And that's why I recommend always having just one catalog selected. That way it becomes much easier for you to find what you're looking for. Now, let's say I wanted to add a decorative item to this design, maybe a stool. Well, I know that I'll find that item within the 2020 Decorative Items catalog. So when hovering over it, I will click on Select Only. And now we can see that is the only catalog that is selected. And all the items that I see here come only from the Decorative Items catalog. Now, when you have just one catalog selected, Now, when you have just one catalog selected, the second dropdown becomes available, and it serves as an index, so you can more easily find what you might be looking for. Now, if you don't want to go through this, or you know exactly what you're looking for, we can head over to the third bar here, where we can type in exactly what we're looking for to search for. So here, I've searched for a stool, and we could see all the results. Now, I'll drag and drop the stool I want in my design. And that's how you use the cloud. Number 4, how do I add a waterfall countertop to my designs? All right, so let's head back over to design. I'll zoom in exactly where I want the waterfall to be. And the easiest way that I have found to do this is by going to the annotations tab, and I'll click on the rectangle tool. Now, all I need to do is draw a rectangle where I'd want the waterfall to be. So I will use these green dots here to drag out the shape. And once I'm happy with the shape I have, I can right-click the rectangle and I'll click on Make 3D. Now I'll click on 3D Shape and hit Place. Now it's important to note that when you're creating a 3D shape using this method, it always has a height of about 1.5 inches. So you're going to want to go in there and change that so it's the appropriate height. Now, if we check the perspective, we have a waterfall. Number 3, bonus 2-part question. How do I import a texture and how do I change the floor texture? So importing your own textures or photos into the program is a part of the magic that is 2020 design. It's a simple process that could make a design you're creating feel very personal to your client. You can import your own photographs you've taken or pictures you've saved from the internet. Now, typically, if you're going to save an image from the internet, let's say on Google, I would always suggest using the keywords seamless texture. So let's say you're looking for hardwood floor, I would type in hardwood floor seamless texture. And that will get you the best chances to find a texture that will work best with the program. Or if you want to create your own textures, you can use a website called architectures.org. I highly suggest playing with this website if you find yourself using a lot of custom textures for your designs. I created this texture using that website I mentioned, and I saved it. Now, I'm going to import it into the program with you guys. So I'll go to my perspective, because the way that you would change the texture for your floor is through your perspective. So here on the floating toolbar, I'll click on the textures and display settings, and I'll click on the little button over here with the 3 dots. And now we see our texture window. Now, if we want to import our own textures, we can click on User Texture Library up here at the top. So you could see I've already imported the texture. I'll go ahead and delete it so we can import it together. You would import the texture by clicking on the folder with a plus sign over here. So I'll go ahead and give that a click. And that opens up a file explorer where we can then select the image we want and import it. Now, when importing an image, you will always see this box here come up. If you're importing an image for a floor, a wall, or a countertop, I will always suggest to click large. If it's for anything else, you can click normal. Perfect. So now I'll go ahead and select the image and I'll press OK. Okay, so we've imported the image, but clearly we can tell that there's an issue with the scale. So let's go back and take a look at that texture. So if I give it a click here, we can see that this texture is being repeated every foot in width, which is not what we want. A way that I use to be able to tell what the size of the image should be is to start counting either tiles or planks of wood. In this case, I will count the height in pieces of wood. So here there are 12 planks of wood in height. Now if I were to imagine each plank being around 5 inches in thickness, I would have to then do 5 times 12, which equals 60. So I'll go ahead and change the height of the image to 60, and I'll say OK. Now we can tell that the scale is much, much better. Number 2, bonus 2-part question. How do I print to PDF and how do I switch between portrait and landscape? Okay, so let's jump back into the program here. I'll go ahead and open up an elevation as well. So let's start the process. I'll head over to File. I'll click on Print, Print Preview. Now, if you're using Windows 10 or above, you have access to Microsoft Print to PDF in your printer dropdown. So I'll click on that. Then I'll click on Selection so I can select what I would like to print. I'll click on Elevation 1 and I'll click on All because we're on the All floor plan. I'll say OK and OK. Now we're seeing a print preview of that one elevation and the floor plan. Now I'm seeing it in landscape, but what if we wanted this printout to be in portrait? Well, we can do that by closing out. I'll head back over to File, Print, and this time I'll go to Page Setup. Here we have the option to change the orientation of the paper. So I'll say Portrait, and I'll say OK. Now I can go back to File, Print, Print Preview. Everything I did here is still good, so I'll say OK. And now we can see our print preview in portrait. Now you can click Print, and that will then offer you the chance to type in the name you'd like to give the file and select the destination of where that file will be saved. Number 1, how do I know what's new in 2020 Design Live? One of the most commonly asked questions we have is what's new with the new version that I don't already have with the previous version? The easiest way to answer this question is actually from within the program. We can head up to the Help tab, and here we have a button that is dedicated to exactly that question. What's new? This button here will show us all the new features that have come to the program by version number. So not only that, but let's say we use the Panoramic 360 here with version 13.5. There was a change to the way we use this tool. So it's nice that it shows us that they've made a change, but how do we use this new tool? Well, just below, it gives us an option here to click on Publish 360 Panoramic Views. When I give that a click, not only does it explain what the new feature is, but it tells you step by step exactly how you can use this new feature right within the program. You don't even have to head over to the Knowledge Center. So whenever updating your program, I always suggest going to the What's New first to see what is new with the program. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. That was 10 support questions answered. Bye now.